The National Broadcasting Company presents Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective.
All right, Shamus, hand it over. Let's have it.
Have what?
I ain't got time to play games. This time you gotta believe me. This time I'm unhappy, so hand it over.
You're not making it very easy.
I'm gonna make it a lot tougher.
How much tougher can things get?
You'd be surprised. I've waited a long time for this.
Well, I guess everything comes to he who waits.
You won't have to wait anymore. You know something? I don't mind killing you at all.
Here's another exciting half hour with Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
Diamond Detective Agency, homicide made easy. With us, it's the corpse that counts.
Oh, I just don't think I'll ever get used to it.
Hi, Helen.
Hi. What are you doing?
Right now, nothing. But I've been considering a few push-ups or something just to keep my heart going. I've been sitting behind this desk so long my blood doesn't circulate anymore. It just lies around in puddles.
Oh, Rick.
Morning, Mr. Diamond.
No, hold it a second, honey. Morning, Phil.
Who's still?
The postman.
Oh.
Special delivery for you. Return receipt on it. You stand right here.
Sure. Okay, there you are, Phil.
Okay. See you later, Mr. Diamond.
Yeah.
Rick?
Yeah, yes, dear?
Well, what is it?
Hmm?
Well, what does the postman want?
Well, I wanted to give me a letter.
Oh?
Special delivery. From the City Hall.
Oh, must be important. What does it say?
Let's see. It says, Mr. Richard Diamond, address, so on and so forth. Oh, here. Dear sir, you are hereby notified that under the laws of this state, you can be called... Oh, for Pete's sake.
Well, what's the matter?
Of all the rotten...
Oh, stop making noises and tell me what's wrong.
You know what this stupid letter is about?
I've been trying to find out.
I, honey, have got to report to the police commission and get examined.
Oh, Rick, have you caught something?
Dear, in this state, the commission can call in any private detective and give him a test to find out whether or not he can still qualify to keep on operating.
You mean they give you a test like in school?
You're darn right. Oh, and it says here I've got to appear today.
Well, what if you don't?
Well, I lose the bond I had to post when I took out my license.
Oh, Rick, you better get right down there.
Oh, and here's something else that's real cute. Guess where I have to take the test?
Walt's precinct. Has to be.
Yeah, aren't they the little devils? Report to Lieutenant Walter Levinson, 5th Precinct, homicide.
What time, Rick?
Time? 10 minutes ago.
Oh, bye, Rick.
It was 10 after 11 when I hung up on Helen. It was 12 after when I hit the street. The 5th Precinct was a good 10 blocks away, and I was bounding into the squad room by 11:18. Needless to say, it put a horrible strain on several unused ligaments. 4 or 5 boys in my charming profession were there ahead of me.
Well, boys, it looks like the commission's serious this time. When they start dragging in their pets, namely one Richard Diamond, you can bet the heads are going to start rolling.
What if the heads do start rolling, Romero? You got a spare?
That's very...
Hey, Shamus, you're late.
Well, Sergeant Otis, you need a shave or you've been sleeping with your head on a porcupine?
I ain't got no time for your crummy jokes, Diamond. Take a seat and wait your turn.
Thank you, Otis.
By the by, you're the last on the list.
That figured.
Yeah, take a seat, Diamond. Last on the list, huh? Looks like you don't swing as much weight as you thought you did.
At least now I can understand the reason for this examination.
Oh, you can, huh?
Sure. Guys like you, Romero, would make it necessary to clean up any organization.
Oh, I take it you don't think I'm a credit to the profession, huh, Diamond?
Take it any way you like, but stick with the first guess.
Oh, what's the matter, Rick? Maybe I'm taking some of your business away, huh?
Look, Romero, the kind of business you handle would keep me buying too much disinfectant. And as long as you're asking what's wrong, I'll tell you 2 things.
Yeah?
You're a lousy detective, and you'd burn your grandmother if there was enough money in it.
Oh, okay, what's the second beep, Ricky?
You just said it. You want to talk to me, it's Mr. Diamond. You slip again, and I'll put your jaw in a position so you won't forget.
Is that right?
Oh, get out of my way, Romero.
Oh, sure, Mr. Diamond.
Hey, Rick, can I see you a minute?
Yeah, by all means, see your friends and have a good talk about me.
Oh, that's... What is it, Alan?
I just thought you might be more comfortable over here. I would have called you sooner. I was kind of hoping you might lay one on Romero.
Oh, I'd love to bust his face up. There's just no excuse for him.
Okay, so we all got our bonds to worry about. Relax, you got a long wait.
Okay, Diamond, it's your turn now.
Not really.
Go on in. Sorry you had to wait so long.
Thank you, Sergeant Otis. You're very kind. If I'd waited any longer, I'd have been numb. And don't ask me where.
Come in, Rick. Bring your slate pencil.
Yeah.
Sit down, Mr. Diamond.
In a nice, soft chair? Oh, I'm afraid I couldn't do that, Lieutenant. I've gotten so used to that bench outside, sort of grown to fit it, you might say.
Oh, now, Rick, I'm sorry, but there was nothing I could do about it.
Mr. Diamond, Lieutenant.
Huh? Oh, yeah. I hear you've been giving that to a lot of people lately. Otis tells me you and Pat Romero had some kind of discussion along those lines.
Why doesn't the government stick Otis out on the beach somewhere and use him for radar? Let him look for flying saucers.
Rick, there's no sense in acting like a child.
The name is Diamond.
Since when?
Since 2 hours of solid sitting, Lieutenant.
Okay, Mr. Diamond. Unfortunately, the commission set this thing up, Mr. Diamond. I had nothing to do with it, Mr. Diamond. As for your waiting, there's enough hard feelings about your relations with this department. I put you at the head of the list, Mr. Diamond.
Shut up.
Lieutenant.
Lieutenant, Mr. Diamond.
Mr. Diamond.
That's better.
It certainly is. Here's the first half of the examination paper. You'll get the second half later. Write the answers to these questions.
How long have I got?
Take your time. Still mad?
Yeah.
Oh.
So for the next 30 minutes, I wrote. And Walt stewed. It was something I could always count on with Walt, and being my best friend, he never had been able to get used to it. I looked up and caught him a couple of times, looking out of the corner of his eye to make sure I was getting them right. Don't misunderstand, Walt would never give me the answers. He'd just cough or blow his nose or something to show me I wasn't on the right track. Oh. Oh? Huh. There you are, Lieutenant.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond.
Am I finished?
You most certainly are not. Like the others before you, Mr. Diamond, you will have to solve, to my complete satisfaction, a hypothetical case of homicide. And then come back here and fill in the second half of the examination.
Oh, for Pete's sake, Walt. I did that in police school.
It's for Pete's sake, Lieutenant.
Oh, all right.
One moment, Mr. Diamond. I'll get the man who's going to give you the test. Otis.
Yeah, Lieutenant?
Oh, no.
Would you mind coming in here and taking Mr. Diamond down to the basement?
He's ready for the test, huh?
Yes, Sergeant. He's ready.
Now, there's a dummy in that room there, Diamond.
You sure leave yourself wide open, Otis.
Thanks. Now the dummy, or in this case, the victim, has been murdered. You will go in and try to solve the murder to the best of your ability. If you are intelligent and observing, you will locate the necessary clues which have been placed about the room. Go on in.
How long have I got, Sergeant?
30 minutes, starting now. Go ahead in.
Otis! Otis!
Oh, now come on, Shamus. You ain't gonna tell me you solved it already.
No, Otis, I ain't. But there's something I think you should know.
Yeah, what?
There are 2 victims in this room. And I hate to be the one to tell you, but I'm afraid one of them isn't really a dummy.
What do you mean?
One of them is a body, and it's very dead. Get the lieutenant. Well, there you are, Walt. Pat Romero, shot through the head.
Oh, no. Shut the door, Otis.
Yeah.
And lock it. Stand in front of it. Don't let anybody in. How did this happen? How did Romero get shot in my department? Oh, what'll the commissioners say?
Lieutenant.
You shut up.
Walt, relax. Will you take it easy?
Oh, sure. Relax. Take it easy. When the commissioner hears about this, I'll have a lot of time to relax on a beat in Flatbush.
Look, Walt,
And the newspapers. What's going to happen when they get wind of this?
Listen, Walt,
Private detective shot in lab room of 5th Precinct, homicide. Relax, take it easy. Sure.
Well, at least shut up long enough to hear what I've got to say.
Rick, what am I going to do?
Well, now listen to me. If we can solve this thing before anyone gets wind of it, maybe it won't be so bad.
You're right, maybe it won't.
We'll keep this room closed up as long as possible.
Otis, if you let anyone in here, I'll personally see that you never... Where are you going, Diamond?
I'm going to Romero's office. I'll call you from there. Make a check on his body and have all the dope ready for me.
Oh, don't you worry about the dope, Rick. I've got more dope in this department than any other in the whole world. I've got the biggest. Otis.
Yeah, Lieutenant?
Walt chased Otis up the wall, and I headed for Pat Romero's office. Everything was happening so fast, I didn't take time to think much past the fact that the private detective profession had taken a step in the right direction when someone retired Romero. But Walt was in a spot, and someone had broken the law, so it looked like it was up to me to try and tie things together. I got to Romero's building, went up to the 8th floor, tripped over a couple of rats having a nervous breakdown because they couldn't find their way out, found his office, opened the door, and started feeling sorry for myself right away. Oh. I never saw him. All I remember is something black and shiny in front of my face just as I hit the floor. When I tried to take a better look, the bright, shiny something kissed me right in the mouth, and I went to sleep the hard way. When I finally came around, it was like trying to tiptoe through an acre of beach balls. I stumbled a couple of times, spit out a little blood. Very little, because the way I felt, there couldn't have been too much left. When I finally got around to a normal way of thinking, I perceived two things. It was still daytime, and the office of one Mr. Pat Romero, deceased, was a wreck.
Fifth Precinct, homicide.
Well?
Who is this first?
Oh, now, come on. This is Diamond.
Well, I thought so, but I'm not going to admit anything for a while, even my name.
Anyone find out about...
No. What did you find out?
I walked into his office and got my brains scattered.
By whom?
By whom? I don't know. I wish I did. I have a very sore head.
Well, Romero was shot all right, but we can't find the bullet.
That's not a very big room.
We'll find it, but in the meantime, here's something else. Romero had $10,000 in cash on him. New bills.
Go ahead.
That's all we've come up with so far. We'll have more to go on when we find that bullet.
Well, maybe it's still in him.
Went clean through. Messed up his pretty patent leather haircut.
What?
What do you mean, what? I said the bullet...
Oh, never mind, Walt. Bless your little pointed head. You just gave me an idea.
About what?
About the guy who worked me over a little while ago.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah. Hurry up and find that missing bullet. Walt had said something about patent leather when he referred to Romero's greasy hairdo. That was all I needed. It opened a door someplace, and there, sitting with its legs crossed, was the biggest hunch I've ever seen. And it was wearing patent leather shoes. The only guy I could think of who would know a man like Romero and still wear patent leather shoes in the afternoon was a local gambler with a reputation as a fashion plate, monocle, striped trousers, and always the patent leather shoes. In fact, that's where he got his nickname, the Patent Leather Kid. This was a small clue, and I knew it, but one thing was in my favor. Anyone who would tear up Romero's office and kick me in the face had to be a bad little boy, and the Patent Leather Kid was typecasting. The kid's real name was Amos Fletcher, and he ran a small club over on 14th Street.
Oh, I'm sorry, my friend, but the... Well,
Hello, Fletcher.
I was going to say I'm sorry, my friend, but the place isn't open until 6.
I got a few questions.
Come back at 6.
Fletcher, I'm a little unhappy right about now. You answer the questions like a good boy, or I'll kick you all over the place.
You mind if I call a few of my boys to watch?
If you like. Tell them I got a .38 under my arm that goes off when I get excited. Got a few questions.
Come back at 6.
Fletcher, I'm a little unhappy right about now. You answer the questions like a good boy, or I'll kick you all over the place.
You mind if I call a few of my boys to watch?
If you like. Tell them I got a .38 under my arm that goes off when I get excited. Tell them I sort of lose my head when I get kicked in the mouth and don't get the answers I want. I think you better believe me.
So you got kicked in the mouth?
Yeah, by a pair of patent leather shoes, just like yours.
I had nothing to do with it.
You know a guy named Romero?
Romero? No, I don't know a guy by that name.
Where were you an hour ago?
Right here. I have a couple of friends to prove it. We were playing cards, canasta.
Okay.
I'm glad you're satisfied, Mr. Diamond.
Who said I was satisfied?
No?
Not a bit.
Well, what about this Romero?
He got himself shot.
Badly?
As bad as you can get shot.
Well, Shamus, that's a chance you boys take. Maybe Romero would have lived longer in another racket. Think about it, Shamus.
I'll think about it, Fletcher. I'll think about it a long time.
Good. Let me know what you decide.
You'll hear about it.
Homicide, 5th Precinct.
Walt, check and find out where Amos Fletcher does his banking. See if he's made any big withdrawals lately.
Patent leather kid? What's he got to do with it?
Just check.
Okay.
What about the bullet? Have you found that yet?
No.
Oh, swell. Did you find anything else?
A bunch of stuff in Romero's wallet.
What?
Oh, driver's license, social security number, some business cards. Card from a real estate office that might be important.
Why should it be?
A notation on the back. Says call Miss Crockett about new lease. Date after that. Yesterday.
New lease? Romero has an office. Wonder what this new lease is.
Why don't you check? Crockett Real Estate, Lexington Avenue.
Bye.
Au revoir.
What?
Something I could... Well.
Good afternoon.
Ain't as though. Dull as can be before you rolled them gorgeous shoulders through that door. Sit down, Sonny. Relax. Have yourself a drink.
No thanks. A little early in the day for me.
A little early. Well, you'll excuse me, won't you, Sonny? If it gets any later, my stomach's liable to rust. Get it?
Yeah, all over me.
What's your name, Sonny?
Uh,
Gotta know, if I'm going to sell you some real estate. Play football in school, Sonny? Figures. Oh, look at them shoulders.
Look, sweetheart.
Huh? What did you say?
I said, look, sweetheart.
Oh.
Why?
No sense in raising all these goosebumps for nothing. Sweetheart, huh? Well, what can I do for you, Sonny? You want Madison Avenue at 50 cents a front foot?
Hey, that's pretty good.
Sure won't have a drink, Sonny?
No, thanks. I'd just like to ask you one question.
Go right ahead, Sonny. You know, I may not look it, but I'm considered one of the best real estate agents in this state.
Do you know a man named Romero?
Sure, I know him.
Did you just rent him some offices?
Yep. Signed the lease yesterday. A whole new set of offices over on 46th Street.
46th Street? Where on 46?
Oh, right there. Say, are you a cop?
What makes you think that?
Oh, I don't know. Mayor's offices are right across from the police station.
The 5th Precinct.
Sonny, you bother me. You're too nervous. Now, why don't you just sit down and get comfortable and we'll
What
talk.
building are the offices in?
Carson Building on the 4th floor. But why don't you just take it easy, Sonny?
Thanks, sweetheart.
Oh, you devil, you.
Now, look, Rick, we know Romero was shot in this room while he was either sitting or kneeling.
Because the bullet entered his head at a high angle.
Yeah.
I think he was shot with a rifle, Walt.
A rifle?
Yeah, from across the street. Romero rented some new offices in the Carson Building, directly opposite this building. I just saw them. Somebody tore those apart, too.
Well, I checked on Amos Fletcher. Does his banking at the National. Made a withdrawal this morning, $10,000 in new bills. Who is it? Come on in.
Has the Shamus solved it yet, Lieutenant?
Walt, come here.
Yeah?
Now, look, 4th floor, Carson Building, right over there. See the open window?
Yeah?
Now, if someone in one of those offices fired a rifle, and there's no bullet hole in the lower portion of the window in this room, that means it went through the open part. So Romero would have to be standing, let's say about right here.
That would make the slug somewhere out in the hall.
Right.
But it would have to pass through the door. There's no hole in the door.
Hey, the door was open when me and the Shamus came down here.
That's right, Walt. Let's see if we can find that bullet.
What was Romero doing down here?
Oh, he was just finishing this part of the test when I went up to get Diamond.
Hey, Walt.
Huh?
I think I got the bullet. Yeah.
Under the rug.
Yeah, you'll have to pry it out. It's in the floor pretty deep.
Okay. Who did it go after? Amos Fletcher?
That's right.
What's your proof?
Not much. It's all a guess. You know what kind of a guy Romero was.
Yeah, the worst.
Well, let's see. Romero had $10,000 in his pocket. Fletcher took out $10,000 this morning.
Sounds like blackmail.
Could be. Somebody was tearing Romero's old office apart looking for something when I broke in on him. And got a patent leather shoe in the face for my trouble.
That isn't very much to go on.
Well, how about this? I asked Fletcher if he knew Romero. He said no. But as I left, he mentioned that Romero probably got killed because, like myself, he was in the wrong racket. How did he know that?
Well, still not enough to convict him.
Would a confession do it, Grouchy?
You know darn good and well a confession is the only thing that would do it. That or find the murder weapon and prove it belongs to Fletcher.
No, you're so technical. Okay, I'm going back to the office. Give me about 10 minutes and have Otis call Fletcher.
Oh? Have Otis call Fletcher?
Oh, not as Sergeant Otis. Just have him call and give Fletcher a friendly tip. From the way those two offices were torn up, it's my guess that Fletcher hasn't found what he's looking for yet. Just tell him I found it.
Found what?
Found anything. You don't have to be specific.
Who said I was gonna be?
Gonna be what, you mallet head?
Specific.
You don't even know what it means.
It means precisely formulated or restricted.
Huh?
Oh, here, I got the bullet out of the floor, Lieutenant.
Bye, Walt. I left the precinct and headed back for Broadway in my office on the corner of 53rd. I knew that Amos Fletcher, the patent leather kid, was the boy we wanted. But whether or not he'd fall for the gag was a matter of luck. Luck is a big part of my business. So I went to my office and sat down behind my desk to wait. In case Amos Fletcher showed up, I wanted to be sure to be able to hold up my end of the conversation. So I took out my .38 and put it across my knees. Diamond Detective Agency. If you've slaughtered a dozen, no difference to me. 1 or 50, it's the same old fee.
What kind of a remark is that, Shamus?
What kind of remark did it sound like, Sergeant?
I ain't got time to answer that. I called Fletcher.
Good. What did you tell him?
Well, I was pretty good, as a matter of fact. I disguised my voice like this, and I says, Amos Fletcher, and he says, yeah. So I says, just a little tip I thought you might want to know about. Richard Diamond has got that which you has been looking for. He found it in Romero's new offices. How was that, Shamus?
Brilliant change of voice.
You think it'll work?
Put down the phone.
You hear me, Shamus? You think it'll work?
Hang it up.
Hey, Diamond!
Oh, that's better. All right, Shamus, let's have it.
Have what?
I haven't got time to play games. This time you've got to believe me. This time I'm unhappy, so hand it over.
You're making it pretty tough, Fletcher.
I'm going to make it a lot tougher.
Oh. Oh, now, isn't that a pretty big gun to be carrying around?
It's a little big, sure, but it does everything I want it to.
Mm-hmm. A German Schmeischer, isn't it?
That's right.
Put a stock on it, and you could shoot it like a rifle.
I'm going to count 3, and then I'm just going to shoot it. Now, why don't you be smart and give me the stuff? Let it ring.
It might be a paying client.
It might. Let it ring.
You shot Pat Romero from his new offices across the street from the 5th Precinct, didn't you, Fletcher?
Is that what you say?
Yeah. What was he doing, blackmailing you? You gave him $10,000 sometime today.
You know, you're talking yourself right into a long box.
Why did you shoot him in a police station?
I paid him the $10,000 and he handed me the stuff, and I thought it was a McCoy. I went back to my office and started checking through this stuff. That phone's gonna bother me! There.
You checked the stuff back in your office and you found out it was phony. You got worried, went back to Romero's offices. He wasn't there. He was across the street in the 5th Precinct. You spotted him through the window and shot him.
That's right, Shamus. I saw him talking to a cop and figured he might be spilling his guts. I waited until the cop left and I nailed him. Now give me the stuff.
You'll have to believe me, Fletcher. I haven't got it.
Don't give me that. I got a tip.
Sure you did. It was Sergeant Otis from Homicide.
You're crazy.
Am I? He said,
Just a little tip. I thought maybe you might want to know about. Richard Diamond has got that which you has been looking for.
what did Romero have on you?
Some records. You know something, Diamond? I don't mind killing you at all.
Drop it, Fletcher.
What?
I got Walt.
Fletcher.
How is he, Walt?
Pretty bad. I didn't know you had a gun, Rick.
Neither did Fletcher.
Diamond,
Yeah?
phone for a doctor. Hurry.
I'll do it, Rick. Hey, who tore this phone out of the wall?
Fletcher got tired of hearing it ring.
What's that you're playing, Rick?
Oh, it's an old thing.
Oh. Yes.
Hello, Helen. This is Walt.
Yes, Walt, he's right here.
Thanks, Dave. Hello, Walt.
Rick, we found the stuff Romero was blackmailing Fletcher with in a safety deposit box. A bunch of books that exposed one of Fletcher's old rackets, enough to send him away for life.
Well, bully for you.
Oh, and something else. You better get down here right away.
What for?
You didn't finish your test. You don't want to flunk it, do you?
What?
You got the first part all right. The hypothetical part I can cover for you. But you didn't do anything on the last part of the written examination.
Now, you listen to me, fatty.
Fatty?
The fattest. I've chased my head off solving a case and getting your big feet...
Big feet?
Big feet out of trouble. I've gotten shot at, insulted, kicked in the face.
Well, those
I don't
things
want to hear any more of your lame-brained excuses. You just fix it up for me, and I'm going to go in and drop a few subtle hints to the commissioner about his nasty old lieutenant.
You wouldn't.
Oh, but I would. What did you say?
Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Take the test for me. Fill out the answers yourself. Cheat.
Cheat?
Cheat!
But...
Oh, that's what you always say.
Now, what were we talking about?
Oh, honey, you were asking me about this little old song.
Pretty. What is it?
Oh, I'll give a listen. Oh, how I miss you tonight. Miss you when lights are low. Oh, how I need you tonight. More than you'll ever know. Each moment though we're apart, you're never out of my heart. But I'd rather be lonely and wait for you only. Oh, pal, how I miss you tonight. Okay?
Oh, it's very pretty. Shall I?
Might as well.
Yes.
May I please speak to Mr. Diamond?
Oh, my goodness, Rick.
Walt?
Yes, but look out.
Oh, all right. Hello?
You passed, Mr. Diamond, 99 out of 100.
99 out of 100, Which one did I miss?
The last one. I knew you wouldn't care, so I let Otis fill it in for you.
No.
Yes, the commissioner wants to see you tomorrow morning.
Why? What was the question?
To what department does the cleanup squad belong?
Well, what did Otis write for an answer?
The Department of Sanitation. Tomorrow at 11, Rick. Au revoir.
You have just heard Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell. Ed Begley played Lieutenant Walt Levinson. Also in the cast were Wilms Herbert, Francis Robinson, Don Diamond, Ann Morrison, and Paul Dubov. Music was under the direction of Frank Worth. Today's show was written by Blake Edwards and directed by Russell Hughes. Dick Powell currently may be seen in the motion picture version of the best-selling novel, Mrs. Mike. This is Eddie King inviting you to be with us next Sunday at this same time when we will again bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective. What's on NBC today? One of the finest programs in NBC's Sunday lineup of stellar entertainment is Theater Guild on the Air. Later today, be sure to hear Richard Widmark and Teresa Wright in the romantic comedy There's Always Juliet. That's Richard Widmark and Teresa Wright on Theater Guild on the Air today on this NBC station. Next, hear James Melton and Harvest of Stars on NBC.
Listen, while the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective. evening. This is your Rexall family druggist. Speaking to you for the 10,000 independent druggists who have made the word Rexall part of our own store name. And we recommend and sell the 2,000 or more drug products made for the Rexall Drug Company. Like Rexall milk with magnesia, for example. Here's a milk with magnesia, so pure, so mild, so creamy smooth, and free from earthy grittiness, even children taste the difference. Ask for Rexall milk with magnesia at Rexall drugstores everywhere. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall. Good health to all from Rexall. Now your Rexall family druggist brings you another exciting half hour with Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell. Well, hello.
Mr. Diamond?
Well, depends on who you are and how you got in my office.
I got tired of waiting in the hall, so I presented the scrum with a $5 bill.
So it cost you $5.
$10 bill. My name's Roger Blake, Vice President of Intercontinental Indemnity in Boston. My company holds an insurance policy with...
I don't know what you want, but doesn't a big company like yours have some pretty good insurance detectives?
Yes, but none of them have been able to do any good.
Oh, what's the problem?
The jewels were stolen.
That's a pretty good problem.
The jewels were stolen from Mrs. Carter's safe some 3 months ago. Until yesterday, neither our men or the police had a clue as to the thief.
Thief? Only one?
Only one that we know of. Last night, we got a tip that a certain man was responsible for the theft. That he knows where the jewels are hidden.
Please been told?
No, and for a very good reason. This man is being held in Havana, awaiting extradition this weekend. When he gets back, he's bound to serve at least 10 years, and we are due to pay off Mrs. Carter's policy by Monday noon of next week.
And you want to know where he stashed the jewels before they put him away?
Exactly.
Now, let's see. This is Thursday. You haven't much time.
Yes, we must hurry. It's reasonable to believe the jewels are someplace in Cuba. When they extradite him, he will leave and the jewels will remain behind.
Oh, what's his name?
William Carnes.
Wanted in this state, 2 counts of forgery.
Yes, that's the man.
Now, what makes you think he knows where the jewels are?
As I said, Mr. Diamond, a tip. My own source of information, and usually quite reliable.
What do you want me to do?
Do your utmost to find out where the jewels are before Carnes is extradited.
When are they sending an officer down to pick him up?
Today or tomorrow. You must meet them there.
Well, then I'll have to get a search permit and ticket.
You can take care of the permit this afternoon. As for the ticket, I have one here on the 6 o'clock train.
Oh, now, here, don't rush things. Maybe I don't like the job.
I'll give you a $500 retainer now, and another $500 when you deliver the jewels.
Oh, well, I'm always asking stupid questions.
Several things to remember. My company wants credit for recovering the jewels.
Of course.
The police are not to be told, as they may cause delay. We haven't the time.
Well, if this Mrs. Carter knows the jewels have been recovered, won't she be glad to give you an extension?
No, indeed. She'd rather have the $800,000.
Makes sense.
Here's your return ticket. No, something else. If Carnes is taken away before you accomplish your mission, wire me at the plaza in Miami Beach. If you have the jewels, fly to Miami, where I shall meet you. If you don't succeed, may return to New York, and the incident will be forgotten.
If I get the jewels, I'm to meet you in Miami?
I'm leaving on a vacation, and I would like to return with the jewels myself. As I said...
Your company wants the credit.
Exactly.
He paid me in 5 crispy $100 bills and left the office, so I left also. When a man like Roger Blake walks in, offers me the total sum of 1,000 iron men to locate $800,000 in missing jewels, things start confusing me. I have a habit of putting myself in a prospective client's place and then asking the simple question, why? I decided if I were Mr. Roger Blake, I might gladly pay $1,000 for a chance at an $800,000 jackpot. I headed to the 5th Precinct Police Station to do some checking.
Oh, hello, Rick.
Hello, Murph. Where's Otis?
In with the lieutenant. I'm taking over for the next couple of days.
Taking over? What's the matter with Otis?
Oh, he's leaving town tomorrow morning. Extradition job.
Extradition job? Otis?
Otis.
Wouldn't by any chance be Cuba?
Certainly would. How'd you know?
Well, he can't be going down there to bring back a criminal. Gotta be an exotic gorilla or something. Somebody he can talk to. He in with the lieutenant?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me know what you find out.
Oh, what difference does it make? Who's going to believe it anyway?
You don't have to speak the language, Hornhead. Somebody will be there to meet you. Oh, hello, Rick.
Well, Good afternoon, Lieutenant. How are you, Sergeant Loveloon?
Como está bueno, Michael?
Oh, an accent from Uncle Castillo.
My way of explanation.
Otis is going to Cuba.
How did you find out?
Murph told me.
I'll have his badge. Outside of this office is to be considered nothing but an rumor.
But I am going.
Yes, you am.
Off the walls.
Don't look at me, Rick. It's the commissioner. I've sent the police psychiatrist up there to see him unofficially, of course.
The old man told you to send Otis?
Right over that intercom.
Well, he must have given you a reason. That's like blowing up Boulder Dam to take a shower. Now, what kind of a remark is that, Thomas? I've been trying to think of that all day.
Otis, go home and start packing.
I'm packed.
You just found out about this morning. How can you be packed?
Walt, a package of Santan, a gross of Blue Jay corn plasters, and his book on 301 things a bright boy can do. He's packed.
Okay. You leave tomorrow afternoon. Go get your papers.
Right, Lieutenant.
So,
Who did you say he was going to bring back?
William Carnes. You remember him. We got a tip he was hiding out in Cuba, and we had the authorities down there pick him up.
They holding him in the jail in Havana?
Yeah.
Do me a favor, will you?
Oh, yeah.
Check on a guy named Roger Blake. Supposed to be the vice president of a firm called Intercontinental in Bombay.
Anything special?
Full background, anything you can find out. I need it today. I'm sort of taking a little vacation myself, starting this evening.
Yeah? Why don't you go along with Otis? Cuba's nice this time of year. You can help him keep his brains in one lump.
Cuba sounds great, but you know me, Walt. Where would I get enough money to take a trip like that? Diamond talking.
Walt, nothing wrong with Roger Blake, Rick. The vice president of the bonding corporation, like you said, married once, wife died 4 years ago. Has a brother somewhere in the West, William Blake. Nothing on him.
What else?
Well, let's see. Vacations in Florida every year about this time. Used to be in charge of the Cuban office of Intercontinental, whatever that is. And you working for him?
You're getting nosy now.
Well, he's got a good record. Gambles a lot when he's down in Florida, but who doesn't?
How about his financial statement?
Not bad, not good. He's got about $15,000 in the bank.
Okay, thanks. I'm in a rush, Walt.
Well, have a good time.
You'll hear all about it. I grabbed my plane okay, and 6 hours later we dropped down for a landing at the Havana airport. I checked in at customs, and being able to habla enough Espanol, I got a tip-hungry cabbie to take me to one of the better hotels, $3 a night. I got a good night's sleep, and bright and early the next morning went over to the local Bastille. After not too much effort, I was able to visit William Carnes in his jail cell.
I want to see you, your Carnes. Well, just making a new pot of tea. You can call when you are free, senor.
Hello, Carnes.
You the cop come down to take me back?
No. I understand you won't be here until late this afternoon.
Well, who are you? Seems to be no privacy even in jail.
Name's Diamond. I'm a novelist.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was in Havana, and I heard you were going to be extradited. I thought you might have an interesting story.
I'll bet you did.
I understand you're wanted for 2 counts of forgery.
Oh, you do, huh?
No story?
No story. Okay, want to move or I sit you again? I move. Hey, what's going on out there?
I don't know.
This is your Carnes cell? Bueno, amigo. Bueno. This is his cell. What do you want? What's the idea of the knife? I want you out of this lousy jail, senor. The idea of the knife is to slit his big throat if you do not open your cell. You will open it now? See, I open it.
He held the knife at the jailer's throat while the door was open. He was dressed in what used to be a white Panama suit. He stood about 5 feet 4, weighing in around 200. On his feet, he wore sandals that looked like he'd stayed up nights doing holes in them. On top of his head, covering his shaggy black hair, was a straw hat, and stuck in his fat lip was a long black cheroot. Between the smell of garlic and cigar smoke, I began to feel what it might be like to come face to face with a bilious dragon.
Senor Carnes, vámonos, who sent you? Hey, friend. You go now, Ponce.
Look, fella,
You go too, senor. If I had time, I would let everybody out. I don't get your angle, but I'm not squawking, okay? Thanks. Then, now, you get in the cell, jailer. Senor Diamond, you'll run the store.
That's exactly what I did. I don't think it was a dirt. I had a .38 under my arm that could have caused a lot of trouble, but I wanted to try and tail Carnes. Knowing that the law was on the way to picking up, Carnes might just head for the jewels and try to get out of the country. I went out of that building like a homesick jackrabbit, and I lapped Carnes ducking into a building about halfway down the street. The sign over the door read, Eduardo's Havana Brooklyn Cafe. Made me feel right at home, so I slowed down to a sprint and went in.
You're listening to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, brought to you by the makers of Rexall Drug Products and your Rexall family drug. And here he is.
Whenever warm weather rolls around, people start talking about air conditioning, and I start talking about the air-conditioned aspirin tablet.
You mean Rexall aspirin?
Exactly, ma'am.
Why do you say it's an air-conditioned aspirin tablet?
Well, it's the extremely low moisture content of Rexall aspirin that makes it break up so quickly. And in order to keep it that way, Rexall aspirin is compounded in specially sealed air-conditioned rooms, where the humidity and temperature are kept at ideal levels. That's one reason why Rexall aspirin, when followed with water, disintegrates even before it reaches your stomach.
Well, that's good enough for me.
And it's good enough for 10,000 independent family druggists, too. Quality like that is what we're talking about when we tell you you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Now back to tonight's adventure with Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
The bar room in Eduardo's Havana Brooklyn Cafe was small and dark. Carnes was nowhere in sight, so I walked over to a long bar and watched the lazy bartender move slowly up the counter with a wet bar rag.
Something for you, Max?
Yeah. You American?
Yeah. So I got sold on siestas.
Where did the guy go who came in here just before I did?
I haven't seen no one.
Now, look. A guy by the name of Carnes just romped in here, and he didn't go back out the front door. Are you going to tell me where he went, or I'm going to fix it up so you take your siesta early?
You know, friend, I got a bunch of bottles back here.
Good. Line them up. I'll see if I can shoot the corks out.
You and Max. Carnes went to see Maria. She thinks in the evening. Door at the top of the stairs.
I took off up the stairs like the V1 and didn't remember to knock at Maria's door. I went in, and there, standing in the middle of the room, was the best reason I could think of for upholding the good neighbor policy. Her south of the border, plus her north of the border. Wow, gorgeous geography.
Yes?
Yes. Where's Carnes?
Don't you think it would have been more polite to knock?
Now, baby, I'm in a hurry. Sometimes I get so wound up I forget my manners. Now, where's Carnes?
I don't know who you are talking about.
Where did he go?
Oh, senor.
Honey, now listen. I just had trouble with a bartender. He said Carnes came up here to see you. Okay, now I got you. I still need Carnes. So shall I start convincing you too?
How do you propose to convince me?
Well, right now time's important. $500 left in it. For 5 C's, I might even become a bully and start twisting arms.
I'm not going to tell you where to find time.
But as much as it hurts me, I'll have to twist your arm.
You're not twisting very hard.
Oh, well, my mind was on something else.
Marley?
No, it was about that 500 I was going to get for bringing in time.
Yes.
I really don't need all.
No?
No. You like times a lot?
Yeah. You're the best one around.
Oh.
Was.
Oh, I could get along on half of the 500.
I could get along on a lot less. Will you come back?
Where can I find time?
Mr. Lee, the 250 now. Just to make sure you come back, of course.
I could leave 100 just to make sure you give me the right address, of course.
Número 3, Avenida Portillo.
Thanks.
Forget 300. I trust you. When you come back, you can bring everything.
I may be bald. I think my hair just caught on fire. I left before the room filled up with smoke and went down to the bartender again. He told me where to find Avenida Porfirio. The back entrance to the cafe opened on it. It was a dead-end street. A half block down, I found a narrow tree, a hired building all slumped down. I quietly tried the door. Finding it locked, I knocked so quietly, braced myself against the far wall, and took off like an erratic car driver. I had to make it full the first time I hit it. It did. And I crawled in just in time to see Carnes dive for a dresser drawer. He stopped cold and he saw the 38 in my hand.
Okay. Don't shoot.
All right now, Happy Fingers. I won't unless you get too frisky.
Well, all right, you're carrying a funny tool.
Yeah, and it writes in lead on all 6 cylinders. Where's the stuff? I'll get with it.
You know about
Yes, I know about the jewels. Come on, now give.
Well, can't we make a deal? There's 800,000 in cash, see? Right here in the depot. You can get at least 500 grand at a cent, and 250 is yours.
Oh, my itching palm. What did you think that to happen to me?
Do not worry about it, senor.
What is it?
As I say, senor, do not worry about the jewels now. I and my 45 will take all the responsibility. Hand me your pistol, senor. Now, I do it. I don't get it. First you bust me on the stern, then you come in here.
Oh, you got it now?
He springs me and I bird dog him to the jewels. Well, I did not know what you would lead me to, senor, but I am one happy man that turned out to be this. Pick them up and put them in my hat, senor.
Fat boy, you said a friend sent you to get Carnes out.
No, not my friend. Friend of Senor Carnes. I think he had good reason for wanting him out of jail, so I follow. I am smart, I'd be rich, very sure, senor.
Oh, here you are.
Exactly. I don't think you should come after me for a while. You look pretty good, huh? Adios, senor, and once more, sir.
Carnes and I both went to the gun in that dresser drawer like a maid to the gin bottle. It was bargain day in Klein's basement until Carnes decided to pick up a piece of the metal bedpost and start me on the siesta habit. When I finally came around, well, I'd done it. Well done. I'd lost the 800,000 in jewels, William Carnes, and enough blood from my scalp wound to make a vampire do a shotty. I stumbled out of the building and put in a call to the plaza in Miami. Before I could take a maraca, Mr. Roger Blake was on the pipe.
Yes?
Mr. Blake, this is Diamond.
Yes, Diamond.
I was in touch with the party you sent me to see, and he took me to the item you wanted me to get hold of.
Well?
A big bundle of garlic, speaking broken English, and carrying a pistol is now in possession of the item.
You mean you had and you let someone take them away from you?
Yes. So there's something bothering me. I wonder who gave you that tip. Maybe they tipped the Cuban wino who swiped the item from me. That way I can locate the guy and maybe still earn my other 500.
Well, get the whole thing, Diamond.
What?
Keep the original 500 and go on home. Just forget everything. You understand?
Yeah. Goodbye, Mr. Blake. I really didn't understand much, except that a very bad smell was beginning to creep over from Denmark and land in Havana. I couldn't put my finger on it, but something was really wrong. I thought the thing out and then put in calls to all the ticket offices in Miami. And got the answer I wanted. United Airlines in Miami said a Mr. Roger Blake had booked passage and was due in Havana at 5 that evening. I was waiting at the airport when Mr. Roger Blake, as big as life, stepped down from the big transport, and I trailed him up to the cab stand. He climbed in a hack and took off with my cab right behind. Blake's cab reached the outskirts of town and stopped on a dirt street, fronted by a Adobe building. I had my cab pull up a safe distance behind and got out. Blake went up to one of the buildings and knocked on the door. Someone let him in, and I went around back to find a way to get in. I found it in the form of an open window. I could hear voices coming from the front of the place.
I'm certainly glad to see you, Senor Blake. Can I get you some Bacardi or something? You can stay right there and tell me where they are, Juan Gudiado.
I slipped quietly in and started moving in their general direction. It was thick dark. So I made like a bat, feeling the walls and hoping I wouldn't bump into something. Through a crack in the door, I could spot 2 people, Mr. Roger Blake and Short Patent Dangerous himself.
I want the jewels, Juan.
So do I, Senor, and I do not give them unless you want to pay me for it.
I've already paid you well.
To get Senor Carnes out of jail, okay, I did that.
Well, I warn you.
No, you do not warn me, Senor. I don't care of you.
That's what I heard of. Some copycat who climbed in the same window I had was heading to the front of the house. While Juan and Blake continued to argue, I ducked into the shadows to the side of the door and waited. I didn't have to wait long till up snuck William Carnes, and in his hand was the 32 we'd wrestled over earlier. He poked the muzzle of the gun into the room and went in after it. Roger Blake turned to meet him, and for the first time I saw the gun in Blake's hand. They both froze, keeping their sights on each other's records. Juan took on a swamp alligator smile and sat down to watch.
Well, William, I am so glad to see you again.
I'll bet you are. Better drop the gun.
My dear.
He is your brother. Senor Carnes is your brother. We don't brag about it.
Especially when one of us is a cheat.
And the others are no good double-crossing louse. You get the police when I was in them. What do you say? Hey, if you're brothers, how come your name's Carnes and your name's Blake? I changed mine a long time ago when I got into some trouble. I didn't want to ruin my beloved brother's reputation. Senor Blake got a good reputation. He hired me to get you out of jail so that diamond fella could follow you. You say nothing about the jewels, but I knew Senor Blake when he used to work in Havana. This would not cost him the threat.
I want to do a jump property.
Senor Carnes has his jewels.
Half of them were supposed to be...
Mother, look me up and ask me to speak. Oh, you're right, Schweitzeman forgot to split. So what? Well, you got it.
Oh, it's for nothing.
Little mistake. One who has his jewels, and I am not giving to anyone.
Well, I might as well get in on this. All the options free. Carnes turned and tried his luck. I thought the bullet part my head and hit the linoleum. Carnes was aiming again, but he forgot to figure three things. His brother's nasty disposition, and the gun his brother was aiming at him. Carnes took the slug right around the belt line and went down like a punctured zeppelin. He must have cut his spine in two because he folded up the sheet. Then Blake decided to add me and play for a pair. And just as he started to squeeze the trigger, I saw Juan reach back to his collar. His arm hissed down in the blurred half-arch. And before Blake could nail me, he was trying to squirm away from the 10-inch knife that made a gory pattern between his shoulder blades. I grabbed his gun quickly and covered Juan.
They did not love each other, these two. I threw pretty good, eh?
Yeah. Thanks, Juan.
I suppose you're going to want the jewels too, aren't you?
That's right.
Would you consider what you call the partnership?
Afraid not.
And the jewels?
Turning them over to the constabulary.
Oh, senor.
That's the truth.
Okay. And
well, you're a guilt man.
well, I say you're alive.
I'm not the police, so I can't arrest you. And I would think a long time before I'd shoot a man who saved my life.
Oh, you would?
But I warn you, don't try to make a break for it.
Oh, I think I've got to. I do not want to stay in jail. The jewels are in my heart. I leave them in the middle of the floor. Adios, amigo.
Come back, Juan. Stop her out. Miss. Well, Maria will understand. I found the phone and explained the whole situation to the local chief of police, who was just leaving to meet one Sergeant Otis Lovelock, arriving on the 7 o'clock plane from New York. I ducked out because in my blood was the call of the wild goose, and in 20 minutes I was sitting in Maria's room over the cafe.
I'm glad you came back.
I didn't get that extra 500.
Oh, Jim, I'm really glad. Because you must have come back just because you wanted to see me.
Well, yes, that had something to do with it.
You like me to play to you?
Oh, sure. Love it. Oh, love it. Déjame mucho. Each time I cling to your kiss, I hear music divine. Bésame mucho. Hold me, my darling, and say that you'll always be mine. This joy is something new, my arms enfolding you. Never knew this thrill before. Whoever thought I'd be holding you close to me, whispering it's you I adore. Dearest one, if you should leave me, each little dream would take wing and my life would be through. Bésame mucho, love me forever, and make all my dreams come true.
Oh, God.
Oh, well, it's, you know, Oh, well, the reason for the ears twitching is quite interesting. It seems that when I was very young, There's not too much light in here. You see, I have a terrible fear of light. Masdophobia, they call it. Well, oh, no.
Come on, Simon, you better open up.
Oh, no. Otis.
Who is it?
I know you're in there. Let's rush you down.
Goodbye, dear. Call him, will you? His name's Loveloon.
You better open up, Simon.
You like to use it?
Not if you don't call him. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yes.
Now, look, I don't...
Come in.
Well, I don't...
Come in.
Sexy nacho.
Dick Powell will be back in a moment. But now, once more, here's your Rexall family druggist. In a recent nationwide survey, American mothers agreed that every family medicine cabinet should contain a reliable, all-round mouthwash, gargle, and breath deodorant. And millions of homemakers choose Rexall MI31 to fill that need. Full-strength MI31 kills contacted germs in a few seconds, yet will not harm delicate membranes of the mouth and throat. Ask for Rexall MI31 at Rexall drugstores everywhere. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dick Powell. This is our first show in our new series of the Rexall Drug Company. We want to thank you and the 10,000 independent Rexall druggists for making it possible. Good night.
Hiya, beautiful.
Get lost, Bristlefoot. You need a shave.
But I have shaved. What else do you want me to do?
Silly boy, he wants you to go Stag.
Go stag? But why?
Because Stag is Rexall's exclusive line of men's good grooming aids. Like Stag brushless shave cream. No fuss, no massage, just smooth it on and presto, you get a clean, close shave. Your face stays smooth and whiskerless all day long.
I'll do it. I'll go Stag.
That's it. Join the Stag line now at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Yes, to make girls care. Go Stag.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Listen while the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist, speaking to you for the 10,000 independent druggists who have made the word Rexall part of our own store names, and who recommend and sell the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. Like Rexall MI31, for example. Rexall's popular and versatile mouthwash, gargle, and breath deodorant. Full-strength MI31 kills contacted germs almost instantly, yet will not harm delicate membranes of the mouth and throat. Yes, for a dependable, refreshing mouthwash, remember Rexall MI31. And remember also, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. Now, your Rexall family druggist brings you a transcribed half hour with Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
Diamond Detective Agency, we never say die.
Mr. Diamond,
That's right.
how would you like to make $1,200?
Do I have to name the mystery melody?
This is not a quiz show, Mr. Diamond. I have a proposition for you, a business arrangement by which you may profit to the tune of $1,200.
Oh, well, that's my favorite tune.
My name is Evans, Dr. William Evans. I have an office in the Grant Professional Building, Suite 409.
Grant Professional Building, Suite 409.
Yes, I'd appreciate it if you would come right over.
Well, it's after 6 now.
I'll stay in my office until you get here. And so as to save time with explanations, on your way over, pick up a late afternoon Times and read the article on page 3, column 2. A story about a man called Farmer.
I locked the office, went downstairs, and out on the street, where I purchased the late afternoon Times, and in the cab headed for Dr. Evans's office. I read the article on page 3, column 2. George Farmer burns to death, and a picture of the deceased. According to the article, Farmer had been on a vacation in the North Woods. He'd gone to sleep smoking a cigarette, and that was that. Mattress caught fire, and before anyone noticed, the whole cabin was burning. My cab led me out in front of Dr. Evans's building, and one look at the large crowd, plus the very familiar black sedan in the passenger loading zone, tied my stomach in a knot.
All right, now, get back, you. You?
Evening, Sergeant Otis.
Lieutenant, what are you yelling about, Melonhead?
Oh.
Evening, Lieutenant Levinson.
Oh, no. I hope you were just passing by, Mr. Diamond.
I saw the crowd, Lieutenant Levinson, and came over to find out if you and Otis were playing hopscotch or possibly kick the can.
This is a swell time to make with the jokes. Some guy took a dive out of the 4th floor window.
4th floor? Dead?
Very. Name was Evans. Had offices in the building. Dr. William Evans.
Guy named Evans. Offices on the 4th floor. Doctor. Some guy. Just 20 minutes before, he'd called me with a $1,200 proposition. And now it looked like the only thing I was going to get out of the deal was a late afternoon paper and a story about a guy named Farmer.
Farmer? Burned to death in bed? Oh, yeah. We got a report on the case.
Well, this Dr. Evans was hooked up with it in some way.
He offered you $1,200?
He asked me if I was interested.
Silly boy. There's the doctor's office. And there's the window he went out of.
Who saw him jump?
Bill Mitchell, cop on the beat, saw the body come out of the window feet first. Said at least it looked like he jumped.
No sign of a struggle?
I'll have the boys give the room a good going over.
Well, we're pretty sure of 2 things, Walt. First, there's a strong possibility that Dr. Evans didn't commit suicide. Also, that he knew something about George Farmer, the guy who got burned to death.
Might have been Farmer's doctor.
Well, there's one way to find out. This Times article says that Farmer left a widow. While you're checking things here, I think I'll go see what Mrs. Farmer's views are on dead husbands and dead doctors.
Yes?
Mrs. Farmer,
Yes, what is it?
I'd like to talk to you about your late husband.
Are you from the police again?
Well, I just left them, but this is my own idea. My name's Diamond. I'm a private detective.
Oh? You working for the insurance company?
No.
Well, then just what do you want? I'm tired of questions about my husband's death. I've told the police and insurance company everything I know.
Well, I know it's been difficult, but I won't take long, and there are a few things I'd really like to find out.
Well, what are they?
Do you know a Dr. Evans?
Dr. Evans? No. No, I don't know any Dr. Evans.
Your husband never mentioned him, said he knew him?
No, he didn't. Besides, what has this doctor to do with my husband?
I don't know yet. You mentioned an insurance company. Was your husband insured, Mrs. Farmer?
Yes, with the National Mutual. But if you're not working for the insurance company or the police, who are you working for?
Me.
You. Look, would you mind telling me what possible interest you could have in the death of my husband?
Tell you the truth, I really don't know. But there's $1,200 mixed up in it somewhere, and that's enough to keep me well interested until I find some answers. Thank you, Mrs. Farmer. Hello, Walt.
Hello, Rick. You see the wife?
Yeah, lovely girl. Type you'd like to bring home to Mom. You find out anything?
Nothing in the room to indicate the doctor was pushed out of the window.
Mrs. Farmer didn't know the doctor. Said her late husband didn't either. But she thought at first I was from an insurance company.
Well, what company?
Oh, a National Mutual.
Otis,
Yeah, Lieutenant.
got the names of the officials in National Mutual?
Yeah.
Bring them in.
Right.
Why all the action?
We checked with the dead doctor's nurse. She said aside from his regular practice, he worked for 2 or 3 big insurance firms. National Mutual was one of them. I didn't think of a connection then, but I made the check just in case.
Well, George Farmer was burned to death. Dr. Evans knew something about Farmer. Farmer was insured with the National Mutual, and the doctor worked for National Mutual. Might be a tie-up.
The vice president of National Mutual is Arthur Peterson. It's not too late. Let's take a run over to his house and see if he knows anything about it.
Well, gentlemen, in answer to your questions, yes, we did insure the late George Farmer, and Dr. Evans does work for us. As to whether or not he was the doctor who examined Farmer, I really couldn't say. I'd have to check the files. Lieutenant, aren't you satisfied? You think there's something wrong?
We don't know. Dr. Evans jumped or was pushed out of his office window this evening.
Good Lord.
He called Mr. Diamond here and indicated he knew something about Farmer's death.
Have you settled the claim with Mrs. Farmer yet?
No, but it's to be settled within the week. $25,000 policy.
Hmm. If someone could show your company that Farmer's death was no accident, there'd be a reward, would there?
Yes. 10% of the policy. In this case, $2,500.
Oh, half of that'd be about $1,200.
You think we could look at your records tonight, Mr. Peterson? It's very important.
Of course. I'll just get a coat and we'll go right down to the office.
We left with Mr. Peterson and headed for the offices of the National Mutual. A quick look through the file showed us what we wanted. A full report on the state of George Farmer's health. Okayed for insurance by the examining physician, Dr. William Evans.
Too bad the first claim on an accident policy has to be a death.
Well, that ties that up. Now what have we got?
Enough to keep on looking.
I think I'll go have a long talk with Farmer's wife.
Our company detectives checked that. She was right here in the city when her husband died.
Well, a little talk won't hurt.
Who sold Farmer the policy, Mr. Peterson?
According to the files, the insurance man was Mount Ames.
You have his address here?
Yes. Here you are. Good man. One of our leading salesmen.
While you're talking with Mrs. Farmer, Walt, I think I'll run over and see this man Ames. Maybe he can do us some good. If the late Dr. Evans hadn't offered me $1,200, I would have okayed his 4-floor dive as an act of suicide. But the way things were shaping up, he was going to split an insurance reward. And knowing doctors to be pretty practical people, I just couldn't imagine him giving up that kind of money for a fast trip to the sidewalk. The home of Martin Ames was an apartment on the Lower East Side. His wife answered the door.
No, my husband isn't here. I was just leaving.
You know where I can find your husband, Mrs. Ames? It's rather important.
I don't know what you want, but if you want to see my husband, that's where I'm going now. I just got a call. He's had an automobile accident. Miss?
Yes.
I'm Mrs. Ames. I was told my husband... Oh, yes, Miss Ames. If you'll just have a seat, I'll call Dr. Tully. He's in charge of your husband's case.
But I want to see my husband. Can I see him?
You'll have to see Dr. Tully first.
But I want to know how serious it is. I should be with my husband.
If
it's
you'll
serious...
just be patient for a moment, Miss Ames, I'll get Dr. Tully.
Come on, Mrs. Ames. Let's sit down over here. Now, just sit down right over here and try and relax.
Dr. Tully, third floor reception room, please.
Hello, Walt.
Dr. Tully,
No,
come to
this
the
is a
third
police
floor
officer, Miss
reception
Ames.
room, please.
Police officer?
He's a friend of mine, Miss Ames.
Nothing about my husband.
Dr. Tully's the man you want to see.
Can I talk with you, Rick?
Oh, sure. Will you excuse me, Miss Ames?
Oh, yes, of course.
You'll be all right?
I'll be all right.
Okay, Walt.
Well, this far north.
About her husband?
Yeah, I was questioning Mrs. Farmer when I got the call over the hotshot. I remembered, so I figured you'd wind up here.
Have you heard how he is?
Died 5 minutes ago.
Oh, no. Accident?
Hit and run. Before he died, he told us a car ran him off the road. Went down a 20-foot embankment and right into a cement retaining wall. The wall stopped him from going any further, but broke his neck.
Any lead on the other car?
No, lonely stretch of road. No one else saw it. It happened too fast for Ames.
Now, wait a minute. That must be Dr. Tully going over to Mrs. Ames now.
Yeah, that's Tully.
I'm afraid that
He did everything he
give you
could.
the bad news.
I don't envy him.
Your
Miss.
husband is dead.
Oh, no.
Mrs. Ames.
Oh, dear
Mrs.
God,
Ames, please
no.
control yourself, Mrs. Ames.
Come on, Walt. This is turning into a rotten case.
Before we continue with the adventures of Richard Diamond, private detective, here's your Rexall family druggist.
I often think that perhaps the most common under-the-weather complaint in the average family is either acid stomach or plain old sluggishness.
Well, you certainly hit the nail on the head as far as my family is concerned.
And I'm also sure that's why there are literally millions of bottles of Rexall milk of magnesia on hand right now in family medicine cabinets.
Why, that sounds almost unbelievable.
No, ma'am. Not when you know that Rexall milk of magnesia is both a quick-acting antacid and a thoroughly effective yet gentle laxative. What's more, Rexall milk of magnesia has none of that unpleasant, earthy, gritty taste.
Say, my family would really appreciate that.
Then why not let them see for themselves just how creamy smooth and actually pleasant-tasting Rexall milk of magnesia really is? Ask for it at Rexall drugstores everywhere. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
And now back to tonight's adventure with Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
A little after 6, I got a phone call, and by 6:30, the man who called was lying on a sidewalk, broken in two from a 4-story drop. 2 hours later, an insurance salesman named Ames was run off the road and ended up with a broken neck. Coincidence? Not a bit. Walt found the location of the place where George Farmer had burned to death. Then we climbed in the squad car and started the long drive for the Catskills. Around 7 in the morning, we turned off the main highway and onto a dirt road. A sign reading Sportsman's Retreat, 2 miles, pointed the way, and 20 minutes later, we were pulling up in front of the lodge.
Morning. Morning. Welcome to Sportsman's Retreat.
Morning.
Police car, ain't it?
I'm Lieutenant Levinson, 5th Precinct, New York Police. This is Mr. Diamond.
Oh, howdy.
Oh, yeah.
You up here about Mr. Farmer's death?
Unofficially. You run the place?
Yeah, I'm the foreman. My name's Pop Sloan, but everybody just calls me Pop.
We thought a bit stale, old Pop. Can you put us up?
Well, sure. How long you figuring on being around?
Oh, not long. We only brought one change of clothes.
Well, come on in. Breakfast was an hour ago, but if you're hungry, I can have the cook rustle up some bacon and eggs.
Sounds good.
Many people staying here, Pop?
Oh, about 14. Yeah, 14. Same crowd comes up every year. Sort of a club, you might call it.
How many years did George Farmer come out?
Oh, Mr. Farmer come up about, for the last 10 years.
Hey, who owns the place?
Mr. Phillips. He ain't here now, but he phoned and says he'll be in sometime this afternoon. Say, how come you fellas are interested in Mr. Farmer's death? We had the police and the insurance up here for 3 days. You're a little late, ain't you?
Well, there are a few things we haven't cleared up. Sure appreciate some help, Pop.
Yeah, yes, sure. I'll give you all the help I can. I'll go get some breakfast for you, and then we can gabble a little while.
Pop went back to the kitchen, and we relaxed in a couple of big leather chairs in front of a large window that looked out on a row of cabins.
That last cabin must have been Farmer's.
Yeah, nothing much left of it.
It's beautiful up here. Look at those trees with the sun shining through them.
Your soul is showing, Walter.
Oh.
It was a beautiful place, all right. The cabin stood in the clearing, fronted by well-kept paths and backed by tall trees. Pop came in a little later with enough bacon and eggs to feed a platoon of tapeworms, and we talked.
Where is everybody, Pop?
Out fishing. Get up about 4:30 around here.
Many of the men bring their wives?
Oh, some of them. Mr. Farmer used to bring his up every year. Fine-looking woman, Mrs. Farmer. Didn't come up this year, though. It's too bad, too.
Why?
Well, might have saved him. Used to smoke in bed all the time. Maybe if she'd been around here, she might have caught him at it.
Who discovered the fire?
Oh, we all saw it, but it was too late. By the time we got there, the whole place was burning. By the time we got the hose going, there wasn't much left.
You say you all saw it. Where were you?
Oh, we was up to Willow Peak cooking out. That's about 3 miles from camp. You can see it from there. See? See that tall peak there to the left of them trees?
Yeah. How come Farmer didn't go along?
Oh, he never went on many hikes. Had trouble with his legs, you know.
Anyone stay here in camp besides Farmer?
No. Everybody was up Willow Peak.
Who examined the body?
Doc Combs from Evanston come up and looked at the body.
Where's Evanston?
About 50 miles east. But if you want to talk to the doc, you'll have to wait till everybody comes in from fishing.
Oh, God. Is he up here now?
Yeah, come up last night. Gonna stay a week for the fishing.
Oh, Pop.
Well, morning, Mr. Phillips.
Good morning.
I didn't expect you till this afternoon. This is Mr. Phillips, the owner.
Oh, I have some bags out in the car. Will you get them, please? Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
There's some more police fellas, Mr. Phillips.
Oh? About Mr. Farmer's death?
Yeah, I gotta clear up a few things.
Would you please get those bags for me, Pop?
Bags? Oh, yes, bags. Sure.
We just wanted to ask a couple of questions, Mr. Phillips. I'm Lieutenant Levinson. This is Mr. Diamond.
Well, how do you do?
How do you do?
Do you mind if I sit down?
Well, not at all.
I thought the authorities were satisfied.
No, I guess they are. Where were you when the accident occurred, Mr. Phillips?
Oh, I was on my way here from the city. I arrived about an hour later.
You live in the city, Mr. Phillips?
Well, yes, I have a house there. I divide my time between there and the lodge.
Tell me something about Farmer, Mr. Phillips. What kind of a man was he?
Well,
You fellas want any more breakfast?
No, thanks, Pop.
Oh,
Go ahead, Mr. Phillips.
Good old Pop. Well, there really isn't much to tell. Farmer was a nice sort of a guy, rather quiet. As you know, he had a very bad habit of smoking in bed.
You have any trouble with him smoking in bed before?
Oh, yes, several times. Nearly started a fire 2 years ago.
Well, wouldn't that make you watch him a little more closely?
Well, you see, his wife came up with him every year, but this one, she was usually near enough to prevent any trouble.
How long did he usually stay here?
Whole week, 10 days, however long his vacation lasted.
Mm-hmm. What was his business?
I think he was in advertising.
Make much money?
I have no idea. He certainly never spent much. He was tight as the devil. He was known for it, in fact. Coming up here was the only luxury he allowed himself. He'd tell everyone he'd save all year just to come up here and relax for a week or so.
Hey, Lieutenant, here comes Doc Combs. He must have got his limit.
Oh, you gentlemen interested in talking to the doctor?
Yeah, Pop tells us he was the one who examined the body.
Well, what'd you get, Doc?
Hi, Pop. I got my limit.
Oh, good for you. Come on over here. A couple of fellas want to talk to you.
Well, how are you, Phil?
Hello, Doc.
Pop said you weren't due in till this afternoon.
Uh-huh. Oh, this is Lieutenant Levinson and Mr. Diamond.
How are you?
Police?
Yeah. They want to ask you a few questions. We got to clear up a few things about George Farmer getting burned to death.
Pop, that's enough, Pop.
I was only trying to help.
Well, certainly, gentlemen. Here, will you take these fish, please, Pop?
Fish? Oh, the fish. Yeah, sure. I'll be right back.
Well, I don't think I could tell you much more than I've already told the police.
Did you know George Farmer prior to his death?
Oh, yes, over a period of 10 years.
Did you identify the body?
Well, not at first. It was too badly burned.
Not at first. You mean you did identify it later?
Well, when they told me that George had a broken wrist, I found the broken section of bone and identified it.
Broken wrist?
Oh, yes, Mr. Diamond. You see, when George arrived, his lower arm was in a cast. He told us that he'd broken his wrist the week before.
What day did he arrive?
Tuesday of last week.
Well, put in a call to Otis and have him find out where George Farmer had his broken wrist treated, and most of all, when the accident occurred.
Well, what are you getting at, Rick?
Then have him find out the date the insurance policy went into effect. Doctor, Which wrist was broken?
The right one.
And it was in a cast, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say he could move his fingers well enough to write?
Depends on how recent the accident.
Step on it, Walt.
Okay, but I don't get it. I talked to Otis. He'll get the information. Call us back. Now, would you mind telling me what the devil this is all about?
George Farmer had to sign the insurance policy, didn't he?
Yeah, but he could have done that with his left hand.
An accident policy would cover a broken wrist, wouldn't it?
Sure, and what?
Mr. Phillips, you said Farmer was known to be careful with his money.
Yes, that's right.
I can vouch for that. I treated him for a cigarette burn 3 years ago and had a devil of a time collecting.
Thanks, Doctor.
Well, so what? So what?
So if Otis gives us the answers I want, I think I can show you George Farmer was murdered.
Murdered?
Yeah. And I think I can explain why an insurance salesman and a doctor were killed. So we all sat around and waited for my hunch to grow muscles. I kept turning the whole thing over in my mind, and the more I thought, the more the whole thing tied together. Around noon, a call came in from Otis, and Walt gave him the information I needed.
There it is. George Farmer broke his wrist on the 26th of last month. He was treated at the Olive Hospital.
About 3 weeks ago.
He stayed one night at the hospital and went home.
What day did he arrive here, Mr. Phillips?
About the 4th.
2 weeks after the accident. He died on the 11th, according to papers.
Yes, that's right. He'd been here about a week.
When did the insurance policy go into effect, Walt?
The 22nd of last month.
It went into effect. It wasn't taken out.
I said went into effect.
It would cost him a few bucks to have a broken wrist taken care of and spend the night in the hospital, wouldn't it, Doctor?
Yes, it would.
Remember what the vice president of National Mutual said, Walt? Too bad the first claim on an accident policy had to be death.
Yeah.
Well, if Farmer had an accident policy, why didn't he put in a claim for his broken wrist? Come on, Walt. We're going back to town and talk to Mrs. Farmer. You got your men spotted around the building?
Whole block surrounded. Peterson and Evers are covering the front. Cars in every corner.
Isn't Otis going to play?
Well, there's been some complaints about noisy cats in the neighborhood, so I stuck Otis in back in the alley. He'll drive every cat right into the river.
You might have made a mistake. One yell out of Otis, and he'll end up with all the shoes in the block.
Here it is.
Yeah? Oh.
Mind if we come in, Mrs. Farmer?
No, I guess not. Well, what is it this time, Lieutenant?
We think your husband was murdered.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Now, we know you didn't do it, but you were in on it. You know who did.
Are you serious?
Very. We just had the lab make a check on the insurance policy. The signature and the fingerprints were from the right hand.
Well, of course they were.
So your husband didn't have a broken wrist at the time?
Well, no, he did that sometime later.
And you'll swear that it's his signature on the policy?
Certainly. I went to the doctor with him.
I thought you said you didn't know a Dr. Evans.
Well, I don't.
He was the insurance doctor.
Well, I'd never seen him before or since. How could you expect me to
Your
remember
husband didn't turn in a claim for his broken wrist.
He didn't? Well, that was his business, wasn't it?
Don't you think it's rather strange to take out an accident policy and not turn in a claim on your first accident?
I don't know. I didn't bother with my husband's affairs.
Is this your husband's driver's license?
Where did you get that?
Motor Vehicle Department. Is it your husband's license?
Yes, I guess so.
The signature on this license is not the same as the one on the insurance policy.
What do you mean?
He means that the signature on the insurance policy is a very clever forgery. Who forged it, Mrs. Farmer?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Who went to that doctor's office representing your husband?
No one. Why in the world would I do that? Why would I have someone represent my husband?
Probably because you wanted your husband out of the way.
That's horrible. Get out of here. That's not true.
Who was in on it with you? Who killed your husband up at his cabin at the lodge?
Get out. Get out.
It had to be someone at the lodge who knew what cabin he was in.
No.
Did you get the papers your husband's picture?
Yes.
You're lying. The newspapers told us you claimed not to have a picture.
Well, I don't remember. I don't remember.
Oh, sure you do. You didn't want to give the papers a picture of your husband because you knew the insurance salesman and the doctor would identify it as not being the man who took out the accident policy.
No.
You knew your husband was going to take his trip, so you planned his death and stayed home for an alibi.
The picture came out, and the insurance man and the doctor had to be killed. A man killed them, Mrs. Farmer. Someone strong enough to run a car off the road and lift an unconscious man out of a window, feet first.
Who killed him, Mrs. Farmer?
Hey, you stop! Stop! Lieutenant!
Otis has got something.
Well, let's get out on the fire escape.
Stop or I'll shoot.
There's a new line.
Somebody halfway up the fire escape. Look out, Otis!
Move over, Walt. Otis going to hit a herd of elephants in the broom closet.
I got him, Lieutenant.
He got him.
Oh, make him happy, Walt. Climb out there and see what we got.
Okay.
Now, just take it easy, honey.
Hey!
Yeah?
It's that guy Phillips, the one who owned the lodge. And he's dead.
Well, Mrs. Farmer, that's it. Want to tell me about it?
Oh, yes, it doesn't make any difference now.
Phillips killed your husband and the other two men?
Yes. We fell in love 3 summers ago. But he planned it. The whole thing was his idea.
Oh, sure, I know. But the state is pretty narrow-minded about those things, honey. Guy like that gets ideas and gets dead for it. You like his ideas, and you just got to get in some kind of trouble along the way.
Go on, Melonhead. Climb in. You're not hurt that bad.
I am.
Oh.
You get shot, Otis?
No. But I'd like to ask you something, Shamus. Did you throw a shoe at me?
Again, here's your Rexall family druggist.
Whenever you're suffering the pain of a headache, remember, there's no faster-acting aspirin made than Rexall aspirin. When swallowed with water, the 5 full grains of pure aspirin in every Rexall tablet are ready to go to work for you even before they reach your stomach. Ask for Rexall aspirin at Rexall drugstores everywhere. There's no faster-acting aspirin made. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. Richard Diamond, Private Detective, stars Dick Powell in the title role and is written by Blake Edwards, with music composed and conducted by Frank Worth. Featured in tonight's cast were Virginia Gregg, Ted DeCorsia, Wilms Herbert, Wally Mayer, Joan Banks, and Bill Boucher. Richard Diamond, Private Detective, is transcribed in Hollywood by Jaime de Valle. This is Bill Foreman inviting you to be with us next Wednesday at this time when we will again bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, Private Detective.
Hiya, beautiful.
Get lost, Bristlepuss. You need a shave.
But I have shaved. What else do you want me to do?
Silly boy, she wants you to go Stag.
Go Stag? But why?
Because Stag is Rexall's exclusive line of men's good grooming aids, like Stag Brushless Shave Cream. No fuss, no massage, just smooth it on, and presto, you get a clean, close shave. Your face stays smooth and whiskerless all day long.
I'll do it. I'll go Stag.
That's it. Join the Stag line now at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Yes, to make girls care. Go Stag.
Wednesdays this fall, hear Groucho, Gildy, and the Halls of Ivy on NBC.